I said, I think we talked about this. Some guy was like, he says something to the effect of, my friend who doesn't really watch college football, she was like, I felt like I just had a heart attack. She was like, do you do that every week? And he was like, yeah, I do.
Isn't that just shocking that we sign up for that?
I mean, hey, better than doing drugs, right?
It is better than that. Let me put that shit back on Facebook again.
Bookface.
Make my second Facebook post of the year.
You really haven't posted this year?
I think I have, technically, but it feels like I haven't in forever.
Put it in my work group chat too.
Oh my god. I might fart. Oh god.
Is it possible to start with my side of this with my video black and white?
Potentially. Why? Potentially.
We could just play like the instrumental to Marvin's Room, and I'll just sit here.
Well, we would very much get copyright striked, and I would also have to hunt that down in 2 minutes.
I guarantee you, it's on YouTube. I promise.
Oh, that's also true.
Have we like gone? We still got the little before us just chatting.
Yeah, it was just casual.
Well, you can't hear the TV in the background, can you, Daryl?
No.
How am I in the frame?
Oh, you're fine. I think.
Daryl Dorman tagged me in a post.
I feel like that's a pretty fire thumbnail.
It really is.
Just the template alone, but also the added touch. Man, what a game that was. I can't even talk about that.
What a game every game was, except for Oregon, Georgia, and Bama, Utah State.
Yeah, man, you like my new tattoo?
Every game was good.
You like my new tattoo? You see that?
Is that real? I feel like that's not real.
It's not real. Ooh, yeah. It's Marvin's Room for Brian too.
Yeah. Brian, are you in here, bud?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Doomer Room.
Yeah, so why would you like to work at Starbucks? Because my life is in shambles. Things aren't working out the way I thought they were going to. I think that's
because I'm broke, motherfucker.
That's what? Who was that? Was that
the Simpsons? No, the Rugrats.
No,
maybe. I didn't like that show.
What was it?
He was up making a smoothie at like 4 a.m.
Hannibal Buress is the comedian I'm thinking of.
Oh, Hannibal Buress is great.
I love that dude. It is a beautiful Thursday night, and we are in the shadow of quite possibly one of the all-time greats of week 1 games. It's your boy Daryl. It's your boy Spencer. Spencer's picking out his eye. I don't know what that's about, but we're here and we're surviving because I think I may have lost a couple of years off of my life this past weekend, or at least I know Spencer.
Boy, what a weekend we had! This is possibly like one of the best week 1s in college football ever.
It was unbelievable. Usually
unreal. Bro.
Usually you can count on a couple blowouts. Maybe there's going to be one game, right, that sort of has the that actually goes down to the wire. But we had what?
Every single one except for Georgia and Bama. That was it.
I mean, even the one like that, the Notre Dame Ohio State game looks closer than it was because it was like 10-7 for most of that game until Ohio State pulled away. Which, by the way, that was all Notre Dame's offense laying an egg. That defense for Notre Dame was doing fantastic. We may have spoken too soon about Notre Dame because I was extremely impressed with their defensive front.
Oh, we thought Ohio State was going to blow them out.
Or they're just both trash.
Yeah. And then, let's see, Arkansas-Cincy was a great game. A
banger.
That was a good game.
Went down to the last couple minutes, right?
East Carolina and North Carolina State was a great game.
Didn't expect that one.
Appalachian State and North Carolina was a fantastic game.
62-61.
63-61.
My bad. I was one off. Hey, I was telling you last week, man. Drake May is special, and I think he had like 4 or 5 touchdowns. He had some ridiculous number he put up.
Brian says I have an echo.
Oh, Spencer has an echo? That's odd.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, the same settings from last week. I don't know why it'd be that.
Maybe it's the room I'm in.
It could be the room you're in. They should only hear. They should only hear what I hear, and I hear everything I hear is just fine.
Okay.
Unless the stream is messed up.
But even the Thursday night games, West Virginia and Pitt was a phenomenal game.
West Virginia and Pitt was incredible.
Purdue and Penn State was a phenomenal game,
right
although Purdue pissed me off with their play calling in the fourth quarter.
And I don't know what's causing it, right? Like, I don't know if it's just actually that competitive this year, like they were genuinely just good matches. Because, again, the games that we were talking about, like, Vegas had all of them pinned, like, within a touchdown. You know, the only exception being, I think,
My boy Spencer Rojas says there's no echo, so.
Perfect. We'll take it. But yeah, man, like it was just honestly a lot of very, very good matchups. I think we learned a lot. Like, I don't think we thought that West Virginia was going to be quite what they were. Who's the transfer that guy that's really, really good? Is
JT Daniels.
JT Daniels. JT Daniels looked phenomenal in that game. I mean, he was placing the only errant throw that he had was that pick in the fourth quarter that put it away.
The pick six that put it away,
Which, by the way, that was a really heads-up play by the defender to get all the way back because, I mean, it could have just been downed, and, of course, it kicked the field goal, and they would have been right back in it. We saw LSU go 99 yards in less than a minute and a half.
But no one's going to talk about the fact that we went 99 yards in a minute and a half because they blocked our extra point.
I still can't believe that when they got the ball at the 1. So of course just to recap.
Also, Florida State, why are you running a pitch on the 1 yard line? What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, just hand it off safely. I don't get that either. I mean, but what it is, what it is. Hey, but look, man. Hey, I picked Florida State to win that game. I believe in Mike Norvell, and slight echo, but not terrible. That's weird.
My week 1 stats on game picks. I was only super wrong about one game.
Let's talk about that, shall we? Because we actually have a graphic for that.
I was only super wrong about one game, and the super wrong I was about Oregon beating Georgia.
Here are your week 1 results.
I was super wrong about that. But I chose Cincy, LSU, and Appalachian State. And all those games were close.
They were close. And I will say, with the exception of Oregon, of course. But yeah. So here's your you should be able to see them on screen probably now, Spencer. You got a little bit of delay on your end, but everybody else should be able to see them now. This is how it went. I did a pretty good week. The 7 games we did, I picked the only loss I had was Utah, which we both had, and that, by the way, was another phenomenal game. What's the quarterback?
Utah and Florida.
Yeah, Utah and Florida.
Did we both pick Utah?
We did. Who was it? It was what's that guy's name? I'm trying to remember what his name is for Florida. Anthony Richardson, that quarterback.
Oh my God!
I mean, he looked like I want to see. I don't know if Arkansas and Florida play this year, but I want to see that matchup between Anthony Richardson and KJ Jefferson because their play styles are really similar. They both are sort of reminiscent of like the Cam Newton style. The big boy can't really tackle him. He's gonna go ahead and throw pretty damn accurately. And honestly, man, against the Utes, who were number 7.
Number 7. That was our only real upset of the weekend.
Right. But what I think, the way I feel about this is that I think what he had against the number 7 team in the nation, that was a Heisman Trophy candidate performance. I think if he has this performance against the number 7 team in the second half of the season, we're having that conversation. I don't know what he's going to look like next.
And we thought Florida was going to be like mid-tier in the East, and this man turned into a freaking wizard.
Florida plays. Who do they play?
Kentucky. This week, I think.
That's going to be a real test because Kentucky's supposed to have a pretty solid defense this year. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I was very impressed with KJ Jefferson. Not KJ. I was impressed with him, but Anthony Richardson, I was very impressed.
Let me say this:
you saw the one play where he got tackled and then was like, "Nah," and he walked it off, and the guy stood there and caught it. You know the one play you sent me?
When he like pump fake and spun around and then that was. If you're going to wear 15 and play quarterback for the Florida Gators, you better be pretty damn good.
Brian says Crystal Ball doing well. Hate to see it.
I'm a -5.
Yep. So,
which I knew I would be.
Just to explain the score to everyone in case it doesn't make sense. So the way this goes is every time you pick a team that wins, you get a +1. Every time you pick a team that loses, you get a -1. Unless the team is an underdog. Because if you pick the underdog to win, then your winnings are multiplied by the amount of touchdowns they're a favorite, or they're not a favorite, or they're hurt by that much, right? So what happened with Spencer was he put the Ducks, who were 3 touchdown underdogs, bet on them, And so instead of losing
I
1
thought they were going
point,
to shock the world like they did against the Buckeyes last year.
instead of losing 1 point, he loses 3. Had they won, he would have got 3 points. So that's how we're messed up like this. I'm 6-1, so I'm at 5 points. Spencer's 2-5, but he has to take the 3 penalty points because of Oregon's loss. Shouldn't have done that, man. I'm trying to tell you.
That. I'm completely fine with that.
We have stakes this year. But this is what we're looking like this year. That the grayed out team is sick though. Hey, thanks, man. I spent a little bit of time last night on that whenever I was watching wrestling, but I have a template, so we'll try to do that every single week. We're trying to up the production value this year, but this was my little project that I had last night, so we'll have one next week, of course. We have some games to pick today.
2 touchdowns and a field goal, good sir.
2 touchdowns and a field. Well, it was 1 point for the shot. Do I need to correct you?
No, he said that's how much Georgia was favored by.
Gotcha. So 3.
Anyway,
we said 3 scores, didn't we? Was that what it was? Yeah.
You might have said 3 touchdowns. Anyway, Daryl.
What you got?
I would like to share some stats with you about possibly one of the most disgusting football games that has ever been played.
Do you refer to the Utah the Iowa game?
My dogs are barking. Excuse
That
them.
scared the hell out of me. I thought someone was getting choked out back there.
No, my dog has a very loud bark. Anyway, at the same time that UNC and Appalachian State kicked off, South Dakota State went to Iowa City, Iowa to play the Hawkeyes. Same time during the day, and these 2 outcomes could not have been more different.
Tell me more.
Iowa beat South Dakota State by a final score of 7-3.
Ooh, let me look at some stats for that game.
And if you're a football fan, you might say in your head, oh, Iowa scored a touchdown. Well, friends, you'd be wrong about that. Iowa achieved their 7 points through a field goal and 2 safeties. Do you know how astronomically large the number is for the likelihood of 2 safeties in the same game?
You know what's funny about that, man, is I saw a stat from earlier. Spencer Petras, I can never say his name right. Petras, whatever his name is. Petras. He, in the past, I saw a stat earlier, in the past 7 games, has thrown 1 touchdown and 8 interceptions.
Jesus Christ.
And this game, 1 interception, 109 yards. What happened? Because he was so on his shit for the first half of the year last year.
And then they got upset by Purdue.
And then all of a sudden, Purdue ruined them. They got Purdue'd. I don't understand it. But some stats from this game, let me go ahead and pull them up real quick.
Let me tell you, Iowa's punter had 479 punting yards, which is more than both offenses' total yardage combined.
What's fascinating is the time of possession is almost exactly the same. So I'll pull it up. You guys maybe can see. Time of possession is almost exactly the same. 50-50. 29 minutes, 44 seconds. If you
look up the definition of bowling shoe ugly.
Oh.
In the dictionary, you get this.
The way these games look, you would have thought they would have played in like 6 inches of snow. Like it was those. I understand.
Like the Mud Bowl.
Both teams. So South Dakota State was 3 of 16 on 3rd down. Iowa was 4 of 17 on 3rd down. 4th down, there was only 1 that was attempted. It was not made. Shocker there. Total yards for Iowa was 166. Total yards for South Dakota State was 120. Ridiculous. The passing attempts was 10 of 26. Spencer Petras was 11 of 25. Yards per pass 3.3, 4.4. Interceptions thrown 1. Just how there's not a person alive that was at home just chilling. Even the biggest Hawkeyes fan on the planet did not watch this entire game. There's absolutely no way at some point he wasn't like, you know what, I'm going to come back to this in 10 minutes. Maybe something will have happened. I can't watch this terrible. There's no way on earth a person other than the commentators, the media crew, the people filming it, the coaches, the teams, maybe even the fans there, nobody else watched this game from beginning to end. I promise you. What a ridiculous game.
And
now
then,
again, in the snow, you can see it, but this was
a couple 100 miles east. From Boone, North Carolina. We're watching a 63-61 final, where App State scored 40 points in the 4th quarter. Like, don't you love college football?
College football.
What a beautiful, weird sport that we love.
It's disgusting.
And it's
So a couple
This was a
fun,
great week one.
couple fun things I thought I'd share with you. I don't know everything that you may not have heard. Some fun things that I thought you might want to know about. So Central Michigan sent out stickers to their students. Central Michigan University CMU. Have you seen this? Central Michigan sent out these stickers for your keyboard specifically. Now, again, this is a university, right? You're thinking, okay, university has their shit together, especially their design team, but maybe they didn't take a close enough look at the keyboard to see exactly CMU, where that's going to land. Don't know that they thought this through. It was a cute idea, but yeah, so that's a thing that exists. Another thing that was a fun happening this week. Did you see Brian Kelly go into that media room and how he got responded to whenever somebody came into a room late? Oh, you don't know about this.
I didn't see the actual interview, but I saw like the text transcript.
We'll open it up to this late arriving.
I'm gonna play it for the people real quick in case they haven't seen it. Check this out.
We'll open it up to this late arriving media crowd that must have enjoyed the weekend. That's usually $10 that we put in the kitty. We'll have a big bash at the end of the year at my place.
She said,
I don't think it has anything to do with winning.
What's college football with LSU coach roasting media members?
Oh no, she roasted him. Shit. So she came in late. Okay, so Spencer can't hear this, y'all, just so you know. So she came in late, and then she says, he says, he's kind of talking, and he's like through his first little spiel, and then he goes, and then just for the I'll keep going even for the media member that came in late here, whatever. And he kind of goes on his big spiel about how casual it is around there and how people shouldn't be late. And then she goes, well, maybe if you win, I won't be late next time. And he was like, well, I don't think winning has anything to do with it. Unbelievable.
That's incredible. I love it.
Meanwhile, did you hear the Coach O quote?
No, I didn't.
So Coach O was, he said, whenever they were trying to let him go, I'll send you the video, but here it is. I'll pull it up. But basically what he said was, after hearing he got a $17 million buyout, his response to, they said, Coach, we got to give you $17 million for you to get out of here. And he was like, all right, when do you want me to leave and what door you want me out of? He was so happy to get his money. What did he say? Hang on.
There's a friend of mine today, really, a lot of respect for the way they handled me. Say, Coach.
Here it is.
You got $17.1 million on your contract. We're going to give it to you. I said, what time you want me to leave and what door you want me out of, brother?
That's freaking great.
Coach O making his money.
Mm-hmm. I remember when he first left LSU and they interviewed him. They're like, what are you going to do now, Coach? And he was like, he said something to the effect of, well, I think I'm going to have enough money for a couple Sonic cheeseburgers for a little while.
Yeah, just maybe.
And then
right?
he said something, and then he was like, and then they asked him another question. They was like, "Where are you gonna go?" He goes, "I'm going to Pensacola, Florida, with my girlfriend." And I was like, "What a specific response!"
Of all the things, right?
Yeah, it's just.
Also, just occurred to me, we never talked. We didn't say anything about it, but R.I.P. the Queen. Sorry about that.
Rip the Queen. King Charles, you're up, man.
Let's see. I guess we got some chat to catch up on. There's going to be 1 week Spencer hits on all of his upset picks. Spencer, okay, so Spencer Brown is my friend. It happened a lot last year. Somehow this man was on his shit. So he's feeling ballsy this year, but we got to bring him back down to earth by keeping him responsible.
I mean, we're only in week 2.
Keeping him accountable. Well, yeah. It's plenty of time. The season's very young.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He's going to
go to Disney World.
Disney World. Georgia game was the first game in like 5 years that I didn't completely watch. You know, and so here, because I didn't watch it, I saw the score. I looked up and I was like, oh shit, because I was going to rewatch it later. I saw the score and I was like, fuck.
I saw the score when it was 28-3, and I was like, Ducks got them right where they want them, baby.
Hey, it's time, baby. that magical score. But yeah, man, I watched the replay, and look, it's really sad to say it like this.
It's time to admit that Bo Nix is hot trash.
Well, it's not just Bo Nix, but it's also the fact that just on the line of scrimmage, every single play. I mean, Georgia was just more physical at every turn.
Georgia's unreal, bro.
It looked like grown men versus a college team out there. It looked like It looked like a Pee Wee team versus Bishop Sycamore. Like it just was not going the way you thought it should. If you're a Ducks fan, it's a shame. Now, is the Ducks season over? I don't know. I don't think so. Bo Nix just has flashes of greatness. I think
they play in the Pac-12. Pac-12 always cannibalizes each other.
Hey man, if you're gonna lose your first game of the year,
lose it out of conference to the team that might win the championship again.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Bo sucks. You know what? He might. he might. But at the same time, I've seen him do some pretty incredible stuff. It's just
like against LSU last year.
One of those things.
In the Iron Bowl in 2019.
It's just one of those things is not necessarily play a complete game. So we'll see. I mean,
one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, we could dissect Bo Nix for a long time, but it is what it is. What
you want to talk about LSU and Florida State?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's get about that.
Because I do.
Let's get. Yeah, how did you feel about your team, man? What is it? Doom and gloom?
We were hot dumpster juice the entire game. Literally the entire game until the fourth quarter, we were hot trash.
Well.
And then we put the 2-minute offense on the field with Jaden Daniels, and we scored 2 touchdowns. And when it was 24-17, we scored, and we stopped them, and they punted the ball back to us. I was like, okay, we have a chance. We have a shot. And then Malik Neighbors dropped it. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I was like, oh crap, we stopped him. He dropped the ball. All right, cool, whatever. You know, final score is going to be 31-17.
Yeah.
They're right there. They're going to score. They run that pitch play, and he fumbled it, and we picked it up, and I was like, all right, here we go. We got a chance.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels comes out. We go 99 yards in a minute and 20 seconds.
And I mean,
and then he
confidently.
Confidently.
I mean,
no one's going to talk about how trash Florida State's defense
he looked
was.
He looked like Tony Romo back whenever it was, the comeback years when the only way the Cowboys could win is if they came back in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was confident the whole way down.
Yeah, dude, it's freaking. Dude, Jay Daniels, look. I don't know if you saw that picture of Malik Neighbors after he dropped that punt and he was laying on the field with his laying face for. That picture has the same energy as when that UCF dude hit Joe Burrow. Let me tell you, Malik Neighbors this is his villain origin story. He is about to come back with a vengeance.
Hey, maybe he does.
And run roughshod all over the SEC. I promise you. Anyway, so we go down, and then he caught that tight end caught that ball and dove out of bounds with 2 seconds left. And I was like, oh, crap, here we go. And then they threw the review flag. Damn it.
Yeah.
I was like, he caught it. They're reviewing the play.
See, and whenever I was watching the replay, too, I was thinking, okay, his knee's down. It doesn't matter. It was like the knee's down. He clearly is not out of bounds. I was like, so is there a runoff? How does this ruling go? Because clearly he was not out of bounds. I was thinking they would have just ended the game and the crowd would have went crazy, right?
And they were like, LSU gets 1 play.
Yeah, because the run back on the clock, because I guess it would have been a first down.
Yeah, which is kind of how it always. Give him 1 play. Jaden Daniels to Jeray Jenkins. Touchdown. I'm like, all right, cool.
It was clutch. It was clutch.
Something we've been doing since the dawn of time in football, kicking extra points, and we're pretty good at it. And then the worst happened. The worst possible outcome.
And it wasn't that he missed it. It got blocked.
It got blocked.
Which is funny because it happened earlier in the game, but Brian Kelly made an adjustment. He was like, well, the left side of the line is too weak. What we need to do is swap it to the right. I don't know if there was some adjustment on the Seminole sidelines to where they were like, okay, they swapped their sides. We need to swap our sides. I don't know what exactly went down. But the bottom line is that was manufactured. Somebody got beat off the line. Somebody assumed something went wrong, but...
At that point, I would have almost either rather them go for 2 and not get it, or he just miss it.
Yeah, but you don't think it's an assumption. We're going to make the field goal and then go to overtime, right?
Yeah, because field goals and extra points are basically automatic.
We witnessed a car wreck essentially. That was not supposed to happen. It's not assumed that's going to happen, and so no. And to your point, that fourth quarter, the highs and the lows. That was sport. I don't want to make it like a wrestling term, but that is entertaining sport. I was going to say sports entertainment on accident. It's an entertaining sport because of moments like that. You have the dropped punt, then you have the fumble at the goal line, then you have a 99-yard drive. The things your heart is doing, the yeses, the nos, it's like Game 5 of the 2017 World Series, just back and forth and back and forth. And
best baseball game ever played, by the way.
Absolutely, and I feel the same way. But it was similar vibes to that, to where it was just back and forth. And it was the difference is that because if you look at the West Virginia Pitt game, that was very clean, right? It was touchdown, long drive, touchdown, defensive stop, and so it was very clean, sound football. But this was like sloppy. It almost like made it more gripping because you're like, what's going to happen now? What are the odds? There's a fumble on the punt, then there's a fumble at the goal line, and a 99-yard long drive. It was ridiculous. It was so entertaining. It was so entertaining in a different kind of way.
Football that LSU FSU in the fourth. Oh, I agree. Like, even though it was like one of that in terms of like LSU losses, this isn't even top 5.
No.
But like this is
Brian
like,
says,
oh my God.
Extra point gets blocked. Wait, that's illegal.
Like, in terms of top 5 like disappointing losses for LSU, this isn't top 5, but
Yeah.
like you don't expect that to happen to like the team you're involved with. Like this kid, like I'm a Cowboys fan. This stuff only happens to the Cowboys. Like if this would have happened to the Cowboys, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Like
you don't expect it to happen to LSU. Like
watching the Cowboys play football is like watching a sitcom. Like there's going to be some shenanigans, and then the fun
4
things.
days until the Dallas Cowboys determine my mood every week until January.
Let's go. 10-6, one round loss in the playoff. Let's go. I'm here for
it. Like I told you last year, I would rather lose round 1 than get to the Super Bowl and lose because I know what a round.
All right, Chad.
I know what a round 1 loss feels like.
All
I
right,
can
Chad.
deal with that.
Chad.
But get to the Super Bowl and
No.
lose?
Stop real
I would
quick.
be inconsolable.
I have 2 things. Number 1, we'll get to the fun thing, but let me ask you guys in chat: would you rather your team make the playoff and lose round 1 and just get the loss over with, or would you rather go to the Super Bowl all the way and lose? Now you heard Spencer's side. I would always prefer to go to the Super Bowl because my God, you won a division, you won an entire conference. Yeah.
Ask Bills fans about how they feel about just going to the Super Bowl.
Because
they did it 4 times.
But you're relevant. But you're relevant. That matters. Oh,
Callie, I see you.
What's up?
Your wife
What's
is
up,
popping in
babe?
the chat.
My wife's in the chat. How you doing, babe? You look good. I can't really see you, but I know what you look like. So you look good. Lose game 1. Callie actually called that. She was like, "What?" She was like, "What if the field goal gets blocked?" As we were watching it, she called it. See, Brian, it makes more sense.
But Callie agrees with me. She'd rather lose in round 1 because I know what that feels like.
Yeah, see.
Hector, that's my boss.
That's
What's
surprising.
Up, Hector?
Lose round 1. See,
Hector says lose first round.
Come on, man. Y'all gotta live a little bit.
Hector, thank you for joining.
Because when your team loses round 1 like that, your team becomes a laughing stock. You guys can't even make it past round 1.
Okay. Let's get into this. I know we're a college podcast, but let's get into this for a second.
The psychology of when you would rather lose.
Well, let's get into this, right?
Okay. All right.
Storyline about the Cowboys is we can't win in the playoffs. We can't get to the playoffs. We have 3 playoff victories in the last 20 years.
It sucks. I hate it.
Okay, I hate it too. But guess what? We are still number 2 all time in playoff wins. So why the hell haven't the rest of these teams been catching
We
up?
weren't even alive for most of those playoff wins. I want to be here for something.
Okay, and I understand that. I want to be here too. But if we suck so bad, why haven't all these other teams caught up with us, bro?
I got you, bro.
Well, they've had 25 years. We're still number 2 behind the Patriots.
That's cute. It don't matter no more though. Our last Super Bowl win is on.
They just caught that football.
No. I have a small counter. Okay. You say we only know what it feels like to lose round 1. We don't even know what it feels like to get. You can handle the one thing, brother. You're also an Astros fan. How many times in the past 5 years have we gone to the World Series and lost?
Twice.
You know what that feels like.
I know what a World Series loss feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Super Bowl loss feels like.
I would rather that so much. Whatever. Anyways, moving on. The other part of this, hey, guess what? The college football playoff is expanding
to 12 teams.
Oh, shit.
Finally, we get to 12 teams. This is what it should have always been. Top 4 teams get a bye. All the other playoff games are played on campus.
And they haven't ironed out the details. Yeah, they haven't ironed out the details of like how you make the top 12. I think there's some discussion about like the Power 5 conference winners all go in. Then you take the other highest ranked. There's still some discussion about how you're going to fill the 12 spots.
Just give me all 10 conference champions.
Well, I think that makes sense, but I think a lot of people are like, yeah, but the Power Five.
I want to see the one year where the SEC champion has to play the MAC champion in the first round, and
but we all know how
we
all know how that's going to go, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but there's going to be that one year when the MAC champion upsets the SEC champion. Yeah, but it's going to be glorious.
Well, maybe so, but at that point, I think they're going to be ranked high enough, anyways. Like, I don't want the MAC champion to be like, 8-3 just because they happen to be the weakest, non-Power 5. I want the UCF, right? That was
the Western Michigan. Speaking of MAC champions, Western Michigan back in the day.
Yeah, I want that. I mean, I want this to, at least to some degree, to sort of feel like March Madness to a certain degree, where it's like, hey, this team right here, I want
the St. Peter's.
Absolutely.
I want the St. Peter's of college football.
Yes, I do too. Absolutely.
Give me your.
So, anyways, that was just a bit of news. So we share with y'all. I'm sure you guys have probably heard it by now. But yeah, 12-team playoff coming in 2025, I believe.
2026.
So
current contract. They're gonna let the current contract run out, and then it's gonna be a 12-team playoff.
In 5 years from now, college football is going to look so much different.
We have a whole new playoff. The conferences are going to look different. We got NIL right now. It is a wonderful time to be a college football fan.
We could be on the fourth iteration of NCAA football for the video game,
The new one.
So who knows? It's either going, and here's my prediction. It's either going to be a dumpster fire or it's going to be beautiful.
I'm going to watch the whole thing.
Or it's going to be both. It's not going to be.
I'm going to watch every game.
So. I'm here for it, man.
You know what game no one else talked about that happened that was really good this weekend was Tulsa and Wyoming. They went to like 3 overtimes. The final score was like 40-37, I think.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Who won?
Don't know.
I hope Wyoming won. We've been to Wyoming. Wyoming's cool. 2026 is so far away. I know. We got to wait for it. I'm not happy about that. But at the same time, we got maybe by then. The only thing that could possibly make it better is if Nick Saban steps down by then, and we can finally have
leave us alone,
just
Nick,
a free. And don't get me wrong, nothing but respect for that man. Like, he's done incredible things. Obviously, there's the whole conversation about maybe potentially some shady stuff that Jimbo Fisher knows about. I don't know. We're not getting into that, but like, give the man his due. He's an incredible football coach and recruiter. It is what it is. But I'm just ready for the next era. You feel me? It's just time.
Speaking of Nick Saban, I am going to be very near his proximity this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Because as I did in 2019 when LSU played the University of Texas in Austin, I will be attending College Game Day this weekend for UT versus Alabama. Because I live in the Austin area now, so I can it's like just right there.
That.
Yeah. And Big Noon Kickoff is going to be there too. So we get the ESPN show and the Fox show.
Pat McAfee's first full-time day on College Game Day. That's going to be badass.
So yeah, it's going to be one hell of a time. Game day is great. I'm probably going to get out there at about 4 a.m. if I'm being serious. Seriously, last time I got there at like 4:45.
Yeah, we're like
there was already a line, and I kind of cut the line to get into the little pit area. I didn't end up staying in the pit area.
It's Austin. Nobody cares.
but I just kind of walked on through. Yeah. But you best believe I'm going to have on some LSU purple and gold the entire time.
I agree, Callie. I agree. Jesus, Roll Tide. Never thought I'd say this. Roll Tide. Hey.
Just this once.
Immediately. Why did I say that? Yeah. No, just this one time. No, I mean, there's no reason to say anything. We know what's going to happen. That game is a foregone conclusion. We'll get to that in a minute. But I did want to say...
I don't know about all that, but...
I'm looking forward to the day to where we're like 45 years old and Alabama fans are sitting around talking about Nick Saban like Cowboys fans sit around and talk about Tom Landry. I can't wait for that day.
I can't wait for that day
It's going to be beautiful.
Like, it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I want to show you a thing. I got to back away from the screen.
Go for it, man. I'll get the games pulled up while you do that. Okay, let me close some tabs out so my computer performs better. Close. Okay. What you got there?
All right, I'm back.
What you got there, Chief?
What's up, Brandy? My other One of the coworkers in here. Her name is Brandy. What's up?
How you doing, Brandon?
Also, she called me Soy Sauce. I need to let the chat know that my work nickname is Soy Sauce because we have 2 Spencers at work, and they had to decide what to call me because I was their second.
That's right.
So a former coworker of mine heard my last name, which is Saunier, and he was like, "That sounds like soy sauce to me," so they just call me Soy Sauce. Or just soy these days.
That's how that started? I thought you just like spilled soy sauce on yourself or something like that.
Nah. But they've been calling me Soy Sauce since like 2 weeks when I got there.
I see.
But anyway, I wanted to show you, here in Austin, they have a thing, it's like a store at UT where they sell, like, if it was something at UT that, like, the sports teams used, or, like, it was in a professor's office or something, and it's like a reuse, like, recycle store. They sell stuff for very cheap. I acquired some Nike Vapor Jets that the players wear for $10.
And you haven't even opened them yet.
I haven't, and I don't plan to, because I think I'm going to take these to game day with me and give them to, like, a little kid that's there.
Well, isn't that just the most superhero thing you could possibly do with them?
Yeah, there's going to be, like, a little kid and their family there, huge UT fans. They're going to get some free gloves.
Well, that's wholesome as hell. That'll help them, they can wipe their tears of their, like, 38-10 loss later with those gloves.
I don't know about all that, but
I'm gonna find out. Well, let's pick some games, man. So to remind everybody for last week, I blew Spencer out of the water. I was 6-1 with my picks. Spencer was 2-5, but it's fine. His season is young. Spencer likes to get a little daring with the picks. We'll see how daring he gets this week, but I gotta keep him accountable because things are gonna be different this year. I'm gonna keep you on a leash in a certain way of speaking. So, our first game this week. Actually, let me swap screens here. Our first game this week. We have a couple featured games here, and actually I gotta scratch one of these. I don't know which one I want to scratch just yet because I only got so many slots. But
we're picking 6 games a week. Is that what we're doing?
Well, I think we're gonna do 8 max, but I have 9 laid out here, and I don't know which one. Tell me when we get to it. Tell me like nix this game from our features, and then we can still pick it. But we will start with Iowa and Iowa State.
What do they play for? What's the trophy they play for?
I don't know. I always forget, but you always remember.
The Cyhawk. We play for the Cyhawk.
This game's gonna be boring as hell.
This game's gonna be boring.
If last week is any indication,
Iowa State lost all their production with Brock Purdy and Breece Hall going to the NFL.
Mm-hmm. They did win last week.
Iowa is so. I don't know.
I don't. But I feel like this is the one that we should scratch from the actual record. But
yeah,
Vegas
this
had
is literally.
Vegas has
literally
it
flip a coin.
Yeah, exactly. We'll scratch this one and then just take the rest. But real quick, who you taking on a flyer here?
Cyclones.
I'm gonna go Hawkeyes just because.
Iowa's somehow going to win 10 games. I don't know how the hell they're going to do it.
I was just about to say they're going to get to the ugliest winning season of all time. They're going to win everything by like a field goal and like.
Brian says rivalry games are rarely boring. I agree with you, Brian. Iowa and Iowa State's always good.
That's true.
This is going to be the 69th meeting between. Nice. This is going to be the 69th meeting between Iowa and Iowa State. Somehow, some way, this game is going to end. It's going to end tied 0-0, and they're going to go to overtime, and the final score is going to be 9-6. Like that's just what's going to happen. The 69th meeting for the Cyhawk Trophy.
I am looking forward to seeing this image be what happens when the fourth quarter comes around. Except obviously for the correct teams, that's going to be a lot of fun. Spencer, you can't see it yet, but you'll react in a minute. But yeah, man, it should be a fun one. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Hawkeyes because, like I say, I think they're gonna slip their way. They're gonna accidentally fuck around and
they're gonna accidentally the whole format. Like that's what they're gonna do.
Exactly. All right, BYU.
Yes.
Did you see it?
I just saw it. Yeah. I knew what you were gonna put up. I was like, it's got to be that Virginia Tech Wake Forest. That game was nuts.
This should be a good one. BYU and Baylor. They're going to be at BYU, and it is going to be a 3-point spread. So I mean, this is extremely close. They're taking BYU by a field goal. This should be a fun game.
BYU is favored in this game. Really?
BYU, well, they're 21, and Baylor's 9. I didn't realize Baylor was 9. I haven't been keeping up with Baylor. This
will be a good game. I don't know anything about these two teams. I know good last year. They Baylor won the Big 12, or was it Oklahoma State? It was Baylor. Baylor won the Big 12.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Baylor won the Big 12 last year.
And then
BYU,
they won their bowl game against Mississippi, Ole Miss rather.
Yeah. BYU, future Big 10 member. Big 12. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Future Big 12 members.
Still crazy.
So this will be a conference game very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is like a 50-50 game for me.
Yeah, I know.
Give me Baylor.
We got some tough ones. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Baylor too. I think that they, I don't know. The only kicker here. What time is this game?
Only advantage I give to BYU is that they're playing in Provo.
And it is a night game.
And if you haven't seen that stadium, oh my God.
Yeah.
That stadium is gorgeous. I love that stadium.
That got me thinking. I was so on the fence about this. I was going to pick Baylor, but hearing you pick this place, Callie, if you're still watching, you're going to want to see this. This is a stadium that you want to go to right here.
BYU Stadium is
save image. Open a new tab.
Gorgeous. It's
like carved. It's like carved into to the side of a mountain. It's just absolutely fantastic. Or it's not carved into it. It's just next to it. But look at that. I mean, that's just
that's one of the best views. Like, period.
Give me BYU. I think they pull the upset here.
It's not an upset. They're favored.
I mean, you're right. They look like an upset because they're 21 and Baylor's not. But yeah, give me BYU.
Well, I mean, it would be an upset in the rankings, obviously.
Right.
Callie says yes, please. Give me. I'm gonna go with Baylor.
All right.
Simply because this is like a coin flip game for me. I don't really know much about these teams. I'll go with Baylor.
I gotta put stuff in the right spot here. All right, hang on. Let me scooch these down. BYU and Baylor. All right. Now we have Stanford and USC.
Ooh, I was just listening to a TikTok talking about this game.
Where you know?
Earlier today.
Is it going to help you get the right pick here?
Callie says mountains plus football equals happiness. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. I go to all the little Mormon games just to see the mountains.
This game is a trap game for USC.
You think so?
Ranked number 10 USC, going on the road to a Stanford team that plays very well at home sometimes.
As we all do.
You get Lincoln Riley, one of the hottest coaches in college football. You get his transfer quarterback in Caleb Williams. You get Jordan Addison from Pitt. But all that could be putting lipstick on a pig. You never know.
Beautifully said.
So I'm going to go with USC because I think they're the better team and they should win this game.
Yeah.
But with the caveat that this is a trap game. Watch the hell out. So do not be shocked if you look up and it's the fourth quarter and Stanford's up like 20-17.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, you look at it last week. I mean, it's hard to get any sort of read on last week. Both teams played jobbers, right? It was Rice and then who is this? The Colgate Raiders. So I mean, this is a matchup between teams that we really don't. It's early in the year. We still don't know a ton about. I have more information for USC. Stanford is obviously an underdog for a big reason.
This isn't the Stanford of old, like Christian McCaffrey, Andrew Luck Stanford.
Yeah, so until I have evidence to the contrary, I think the Trojans are better suited to win. So give me the Trojans.
But look at what happened last year when Brian. I'm sorry to keep bringing up losses for the Ducks, but they look what happened last year when the Ducks went to play Stanford on the road. Like I said, like that stat I gave you last year, and I still watch back to your reaction to it sometimes. I've told you, when and the stat is now updated, when Oregon is in the top 5 and undefeated, and they play at Stanford is 5-0.
It's just one of those stupid stats,
That's unreal, bro.
It's just one of those, it's like a stat that shouldn't be a stat, but it just happens to, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't think there's an underlying cause for that, Like, ordinarily with stats, you're like, so they didn't pass well because the defense was.
Because, see, here's the thing with USC. I'm still going to pick USC in this game, but I'm going to say this. USC is always good about getting upset. They're always good about losing games they absolutely should not lose. Like you'll look up and they'll
But
be
this
playing
is
Cal.
this is a new staff. You know.
They'll be playing Cal.
Now-
They'll be playing Wazoo. And
Now-
they'll just get railed, and you're like, what is happening? And then the team from the Pac-12 that you actually want to see do good. Thank you for the water, babe. Team from the Pac-12 that you actually want to see do good starts doing good, and USC comes in and upsets them. USC are 100% the season interrupters of the Pac-12.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, and you say like USC always loses a game that they shouldn't lose. Well, we look at their
This
coach.
might be it.
Well, but not just that. But what did Lincoln Riley do at Oklahoma every now and then?
Lost a game you shouldn't lose.
Went to go visit Kansas State, and he wasn't welcome there, apparently. So,
And then they got him back again. They got him again the next year, too.
hey, for Oklahoma is Kansas State, for Texas is Kansas. They have trouble with that state for some reason.
Yeah.
Hey, the state of
They play
Kansas,
some good ball in Kansas.
the state of Kansas
Ain't nothing up
owns
there but corn.
the Red River rivalry. All right, man. There's your picks there. Ooh, this is a really, really good one. This is the game I'm really looking forward to seeing. Florida and Kentucky. Number 20, Kentucky. At the Swamp for a second week in a row. Florida's going to be rocking at home. They jumped from
Florida's
unranked
not
to 12.
ranked.
No, they're number 12. They jumped from unranked to number 12.
They went from unranked to number,
To number
12.
12. I mean,
Damn.
it was a convincing win, was it not, against Utah?
It was.
I mean, went down to the wire.
Also,
Defense came up with a big play.
Brian, I apologize, but Oregon went
Here
from
we go.
11th to not ranked.
Oh,
Yeah,
that seems
that
a
stings a
bit
little bit.
unfair.
Do you know what the biggest drop off is from what the number is from ranked to unranked?
No, but I bet you'll tell me.
I will. Michigan, the year they got upset by Appalachian State, went from number 5 to
Let's
out of the rankings.
go.
They went from 5th to unranked like that.
Wow. App State plays number 6 this weekend. Let's not try to manifest anything.
Hey,
We got the Wildcats and the Gators. It is going to be in the Swamp. Obviously, we were both incredibly impressed. Everyone, I think, was really impressed with Anthony Richardson last week. Just looked good. Just looked solid decision-making, knew when to take off, knew when to sit back and throw it. I mean, it seemed like he did a great job of not forcing anything and just letting the defense come to him. Kentucky, of course, is supposed to have a pretty good team this year. I didn't watch them play Miami, Ohio last week, but it wasn't like a spectacular win. It was 37-13. Don't know exactly what their game
I looked
plan
up at one
was.
point and it was like 14-13, and I was like, Kentucky.
And so
I was like, Miami of Ohio.
this is going to
what?
be interesting right now. Vegas has Florida as not quite a touchdown favorite, 6.5. I guess a touchdown favorite if you don't pick the extra point. But yeah, so Florida is the favorite here at home, which does make sense. I think if they're in Kentucky, this maybe moves to like a 3.5 point Florida favorite. I think Florida is the better team here, honestly. I'm gonna go with the Gators. I liked what
I'm going
I
with
saw.
the Gators too. I'm riding the hot hand. Anthony Richardson.
yeah.
They're going to be in the Swamp. Anthony Richardson is playing again, and Kentucky does not do well in the Swamp. They've only won there like maybe once or twice in the last
30 years. Yeah. So,
So, like-
they broke the curse like 2018, 2019, something like that. They won a game back when they had
something
what's his
like that.
face with the who was it that had the mouthpiece?
Snell.
Benny Snell. They won it with Benny Snell. I think that one year because Florida was kind of falling off. You can never tell with Florida. You really can never tell.
They hadn't beaten Florida in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then they hadn't won in the Swamp in a long time. And I think they beat Florida for the first time with Benny Snell, and then like. That was like maybe 4 years ago. 3 years ago.
it was a bit of time.
And then again, they won on the road in the Swamp, so they broke both of those curses. But yeah, give me the Gators here. I think Anthony Richardson is going to have one hell of a ball game.
I think that they are good until proven otherwise. This is going to be a good test.
They're going to sing that Tom Petty song, start at the end of the thing, and it's just going to be.
It's going to be.
Have you seen them do that at the Swamp? It's cool. It's like they sing "I Won't Back Down" by Tom Petty, because Tom Petty was from Gainesville and he loved the Gators. And when he passed away in 2017, they played "I Won't Back Down."
This sounds familiar.
They played "I Won't Back Down" in the stadium, and it's like their jump around. It's like what jump around is to Wisconsin. That's what "I Won't Back Down" is to Florida.
Did you see the jump around when the two commentators are in the booth and one was like jumping on top of the other one?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was the best. No, I like the Gators here as well, man. And I think, honestly, though, this is one of those things that looked so impressive last week. It was a big emotional win. The only caveat here would be, and remember I said this, look at the score in the first quarter. If Florida comes out and 3 and outs, or if they come out and Kentucky scores and then they 3 and out, whatever the case may be, I think if Florida does not get off to a hot start, maybe a little panic sets in. Maybe we can't recapture the same magic we had last week. It was a big emotional win. So I think that Florida will win, but
I think Florida's better than we were giving them credit for.
I agree.
And I think they
we'll see.
handle business in the swamp. I think this game's good because Kentucky is a good team. Although I can't, bro. Have you seen Will Levis? This man puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
What?
You heard me correctly. Mayonnaise in his coffee.
I've heard of putting ketchup in milk, which that also makes me want to. Do something.
Most of these things make me want to vomit. I'm as white as mayonnaise.
It makes me want to commit a felony hearing
gross.
that, but okay. Well, I guess that's the thing that people do.
My coworker Brandy's going with the Gators, which is really funny because she tells me she's a Georgia Bulldogs fan all the time. But she had a Florida Gators cup the other day, so I was like, "You got to pick one, bro."
Yeah, I didn't. It's kind of tough to reconcile that, but it is what it is. People.
It's like back when you first told me you were going to A&M, and I was still a UT fan, and so we'd walk into some place, and I was UT head to toe, and you had an A&M shirt on.
Hell yeah.
So.
Yeah. You were having an identity crisis. You were like, I don't know anyone that's going to UT. But at the same time, my boys, it was so funny. It was so funny watching that whole identity crisis.
Weirdest thing in the world. That's why I'm an LSU fan.
Just make it even, right? We got Houston Cougars going to visit the Texas Tech Red Raiders, a future regular Big 12 matchup. This should be an interesting one. Tech is actually the favorite here, even though they are unranked by 3.5 points.
Speaking of Houston, their game against UTSA was wild. They went to 3 OTs and won 37-35. That game was nuts too.
I mean, you talk about it. It's like the NCAA, instant classic shit, right? It was one of those for sure, man. I was shocked. Everyone was saying the UTSA could do something. I was calling that cap. I was very wrong. Obviously, UTSA did have the sauce.
UTSA has the sauce. And shout out to I don't know if he's watching. Shout out to my coworker Aubrey. I think it's his son or his grandson plays football for UTSA. So we're all on the Roadrunners bandwagon up at work.
But what you got, man?
I like this Houston team. I think Houston's good. I like what Clayton Tune does. Texas Tech somehow beat them last year, and then they didn't lose another game. Where's this game at? Is it Houston or Lubbock?
It's gonna be in Lubbock. No, it'll be in AT&T Stadium. Actually, it'll be in Dallas.
Okay. So.
Oh, neutral site. That changes things.
Neutral site changes things a little bit for me.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go with the Cougars. I think they're probably the better team.
We got to stop agreeing
about this Texas Tech team at all.
Yeah. I've heard good about Tech. I think they finished the season pretty strong. They had a close loss to Baylor. They got smoked by Oklahoma State. They're bringing a lot of guys back, as I understand it. So
they got a transfer QB that's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they're going to be fine overall. I think the difference maker for Houston is going to be their running game. Their rushing leader last week was their quarterback. Is it Connor Tune? Is that his name?
Clayton Tune.
He was a leading rusher. They got to get a run game going, man. They got to get between the tackles. So they're going to be a little bit more physical up front. I like Houston in this game. And I think that they're still going to have a good year, but I think Tech. I'm going to go with Tech in this one. I don't know why. I think it's going to be too emotional trying to maybe get the game back from last year. I don't know. Something in my gut. I like Houston. I think they're going to be the better team in the long run, but give me Tech early with the early win against Houston.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you're watching this, but shout out to one of my customers at work. Logan is a Texas Tech graduate. So Spencer says it's at Tech. Yeah, check that because Lubbock is Jones AT&T Stadium.
Oh, you're right. Yep, it is in Lubbock.
So I'm still going with. Thank you for catching that, Spencer.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm still going with Houston, but Lubbock is a tough place to play.
Yeah, I'm absolutely going with the Red Raiders now. So cool. That one is out of the way. Pitt and Tennessee. This one should be fun.
Pitt's a good team,
Volunteers are number
just coming
24
off
right
an-
now. Pitt,
coming off an emotional win against probably their biggest rival in West Virginia.
Yep.
First time we've seen a backyard brawl in 11 years. Where's this game at? This is in Knoxville or in Pittsburgh?
It's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pitt. Okay.
And it is the 2:30 ABC spot. So it's going to be.
I don't know. It being in Pitt doesn't change my answer. I'm going to go with the Volunteers here
Okay.
because I think that offense is incredible. If you saw, and their defense played well. Yes, they played like Ball State or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they, like, literally first play of the game, interception. First offensive play was a touchdown.
And they just never
the
looked
last
back.
game they played.
Yeah.
And they foot on the throttle the whole time.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee is for real. I think if they can, because they have to play Alabama and Georgia this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they have to win one of those games, I think they have an outside shot to make the playoff. I really do. I think Tennessee is like back of the Tennessee of old. I think this offense is really good. Yeah, they're playing in Pitt. I think Pitt has a great defense. Pitt's defense is crazy.
I want to look at their schedule. So they are. Let me go ahead and zoom in.
Give me the Volunteers. Also, it was a crime against humanity. They were not ranked in week 1. They're ranked this week.
They win this week. They'll certainly be up. So their big thing, the game you want to circle obviously is Florida. LSU, we don't know what they're going to be like, but they do have to go to Death Valley, and I think that's probably, if it's a night game especially, that's going to be a big one. So that Florida LSU Bama stretch, that's going to be really tough. If they can get through that,
play Florida, LSU, and Bama.
if they can get through that with one loss, I agree with you. I think they can go ahead and sweep out. Well, they got Georgia too, so that's going to be tough as well. They got a long road ahead. I don't think they make the playoff with 2 losses, but if they can pick up a win against either a Bama or a Georgia, maybe. But that's going to be.
If they beat Georgia, they probably win the East.
Yes, I agree with you.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if anybody's beating Georgia this year.
Yeah, I don't know that I see that happening. So. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I think even the Vols in this one, I think their offense is going to be too much, especially since Pitt was supposed to be extremely dominant on defense. And they
gave up 31 points.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot
They're
of
probably
yards,
going to give up about 45, 52 in this game.
So let me go ahead.
Because this Tennessee offense is real. Yeah, give me the Volunteers. Shout out Connor Smith. Go listen to Orange and White, our song from last week if you haven't.
Mm-hmm. We got A&M and App State. This one scares me.
I mean, we know how this game should go.
Yes.
Give me the Aggies, obviously.
Okay.
But this is like the king of the upset. King of the upset, king of the almost upset against highly ranked teams on the road. Like, upset Michigan in 07. Almost beat Tennessee in 2016. Almost beat Penn State in 2018. Beat North Carolina and South Carolina in the same season like last year or 2 years ago. Just almost beat North Carolina this past week.
And that North Carolina game, I mean, unbelievable.
They had it won, but he just floated that ball a little too high on that 2-point play. And
yeah, and again, it goes to show, how these teams respond after a big emotional loss like that.
Game's gonna be at Kyle Field.
It's gonna be in College Station, of course. And here's my thoughts on A&M, by the way. So they had their game against Sam Houston State last week, who, by the way, they were like 30-something point favorites. I don't think they covered. I think it was 31-0. And what's interesting is the whole talk about this offense. The defense did their job. It was a goose egg. Defense looks fantastic. I feel confident in the defense. I think they do have a number 6 in the nation defense. Their offense, last year it was all about, the question was, can we make this team push the ball downfield? And what's interesting is they did that pretty often in the Sam Houston game, but you know what they didn't do and what they have done really well in the past 5 years is run the ball between the tackles. And they've had Isaiah Spiller for the past 2 years, and then before that they had his name's escaped, but the point is that they've been able to move the ball very well between the tackles. Without Spiller, I think this running game is going to have to find its identity again, because they can run left and right pretty well. They can do little screens and stuff. But a big
Smith and Devon A-Chain are incredible.
They're incredible athletes and they're very fast, but neither one is big and bulky. You don't have the big bulky, I can push forward through a tight hole and then get maybe 4 or 5 yards consistently.
I mean, I'm sure they have a guy like that on the roster that just hasn't emerged yet.
Right, hasn't come into his body. He's not quite big enough yet. So that's for me the biggest thing. That the offensive line is going to be okay. They're figuring things out. They're still getting things figured out in that regard. But yeah, give me A&M here. But
this should be an A&M victory, probably by about, I don't know.
If they get behind
17, 20 points.
If you look up, then this game is 7-3, 10-3, 10-0. App State, we got problems because now we're in panic mode. You're going to be looking at like that Colorado game looked like last year that we don't want to think about anymore. So give me the Aggies, but you know how it be.
Spencer Rojas says, "Get the ball to Evan Stewart. Y'all will be fine."
Oh yeah, and he had some incredible plays last year. I mean, he's one hell of an athlete.
Yeah, A&M probably by a mile, but like it. Just talk about it because it's App State first. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
so.
I think they'll win, but it's one of those things, man, where I've seen scarier things happen, especially against App State. Good God. Okay, this would be a fun one. You will actually be at game day for this one. Texas and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Or as I like to call them, Alabamba. Did you see that graphic?
Alabamba.
Did you see that graphic out there? ESPN misspelled it on one of their graphics, and it said Alabamba.
That's wonderful. Yeah, this is a. They're looking. Everybody in the nation is going to be looking at this game, right?
Yep, it's
Because
got.
obviously Texas has got a new coach. It's a former Saban assistant.
Mm-hmm.
You get this high-profile transfer QB. You've got probably the best running back in the country in Bijan Robinson. You've got one of the best wide receivers in the country in Xavier Worthy.
11 a.m.
It's in
kickoff.
Austin. 11 a.m. kickoff, which I disagree with, but I do think the 11 a.m. kickoff is an advantage for Texas because they don't have to travel. They don't have to go anywhere. They're just going to wake up at the hotel and go to the stadium. Alabama has to take that bus ride or that plane ride.
Yeah, but they've seen this is a song and dance they've done.
Yeah, it's in Austin. It's a home game. Everybody in the country is going to be looking at this game. Crowd's probably going to be rocking. I'm not going to go. I can't go to the actual game, but I will be at game day. And game day at UT is fun. I've been there once before. I'm going to go again because game day is an awesome experience.
Oh, yeah.
No matter where you're at. But the game day I've happened to have gone to is at UT. So that's the only thing I can speak to experience with. It's obviously everything I just said about Texas, still rings true. But then, you got Alabama. Obviously it's Nick Saban. It's your reigning Heisman Trophy champion. Best defensive player in the country in Will Anderson. Weapons. I don't know none of their running backs or receivers, but we're probably going to find out their names pretty quickly because they're going to all be very good.
Yeah.
So
they just haven't become big yet, but they will because they're set up to.
A couple of my coworkers, and I may have said this in like our preseason show that we did. I had this crazy bold prediction that Texas somehow upsets Alabama.
Spit it out.
And then gets upset by UTSA the next week. I am going to back up on that.
Okay.
Give me Bama by about 2 touchdowns. But I do think this game is close until the fourth quarter.
Okay. So you're saying yes to Bama, but you're saying it's going to be
closer than everyone thinks it is. Everybody's like, "Oh, this game's going to be a blowout." No, it won't. This game's going to be close. But Bama's going to get a defensive stop. They're going to score and then like get a key defensive stop, like scoop and score, pick six type of thing. I'm gonna go with the favorite here. Give me Alabama.
Cool. I'm going with
pains me to say that.
I'm going with Alabama as well. I do think, unlike you, that it will be ugly. I think that it will open with a couple things are going to go right on offense for Texas. They're going to move the ball down the field, interception. Alabama walks down and scores, takes the whole energy out of the stadium. Texas comes back, 3 and out. Comes back, and Bama scores. And it's just going to sort of repeat. Texas may score, they may not. I think they probably will score, at least even if it's in garbage time. But I just think it's going to be ugly. I liked what I saw that did last week. I watched the highlights of whoever they played. I forgot who it was. Was it ULM? I think they played.
ULM's bad though.
Quinn Ewers, he looked comfortable. He was able to find who he needed to find. There was some blown coverages, so like it was,
his car got towed.
His
They
car.
towed his
That's
Aston
the
Martin.
that's the really funny thing is that his car got towed. There was like a mix up with his parking ticket, but that's Austin for you. Everybody gets towed. Austin is just the worst place to park on earth. But yeah, give me Bama. It's going to be not as close as you think.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Let me go ahead and write our stuff down.
Arguably the biggest game of the weekend.
Arguably, but not going to be the most entertaining, I don't think. Now, this one will be entertaining. We got Arkansas and South Carolina. Now, this is going to be fun because I don't know how much you watched the Arkansas game last weekend, but they had a very fun game against Cincinnati. And that was,
I watched
again,
most of that game.
very back and forth. I like what they did defensively. KJ Jefferson looked very comfortable until that one drive when he was kind of sensitive on that knee and he was kind of throwing everything a little bit too high. It looks like it got corrected. He came back. I think they scored after that injury happened, so like he's okay. But you got Spencer Rattler, who, by the way, threw two interceptions last week against whoever that was. Who is that? Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia State. So already Spencer Rattler back to his old ways, throwing 2 picks last week. But it is a South Carolina team that should be reinvigorated. We'll see. Who you got, man? And it is going to be in Arkansas.
What's Arkansas rank? Arkansas is
16.
16th. Obviously, past couple years we've been high on the Hogs, pun intended. We like Arkansas around here. Arkansas is good. Spencer Rattler is obviously going to be. I'm a believer in Shane Beamer, the head coach at South Carolina. Oh, also, since we're talking about South Carolina, did you see that they went to change the name of their live rooster mascot?
Who was it? What was it before?
He was his name was Sir Big Spur. And the people who owned him no longer own him. And part of the thing was that because he's a rooster, they've got that thing on their head.
Yeah.
The people who previously owned him always trimmed that to make him look more like a fighting chicken. But the new people said they weren't going to do that. And so the old people were like, you can't call him Sir Big Spur anymore. So they were like, we have to come up with a new name for the live mascot. And they put it to a community vote.
Oh,
Which is always the most wonderful, thing that you could possibly do.
Where's this going?
There were such choices as Cluck Norris, Darius Clucker. What was the
Cluck Norris is the clear winner.
Cluck. I'm not going to. I'll get to the one who won. Marco
Pollo
was my personal favorite. But the one that almost won. Was Cop Commander.
I mean,
because they're the South Carolina Gamecocks. That's the thing that won. But obviously, the university's like, we can't name our mascot Cop Commander. So he was just going to be called like the General or something like that, or some other name. But then they decided not to do that at all, and he's going to be called Sir Big Spur now.
Well, that was a whole lot of nothing for a whole lot of.
It was a whole lot. Anyway, give me Arkansas in this game.
Yeah, me too.
But watch out, Arkansas. I think this is a small bit of a trap game.
Yeah, give me Arkansas. I like them. I think they. Sam Pittman just got them boys looking all kinds of good. I mean, he has them looking like a complete, not just a team that looks confident, but a team that just plays well together. You watch them and there's no, you should have done this. There's no that. Like anytime they're missing an assignment, there's no blood. There's just like, hey, there's communication. They come off as a team that looks very clean cut. So I like everything that I'm seeing. But yeah, give me Arkansas as well. Razorbacks are going to be pretty nasty this year. I don't think there's any doubting that.
I think everybody in the SEC West, with the exception of Auburn and maybe Mississippi State, is going to be pretty damn good. No, yeah. I say that. No, let me flip that. Everybody in the SEC West, with the exception of Auburn and LSU, probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah. I agree with you. Cool. So we're a little closer this week in picks. So we agreed on the Bama game. We agreed on the A&M game. We agreed on Arkansas, the Bulls. Our only differences this week were Houston. You picked Houston. I picked Tech. And then you picked Baylor. I picked BYU.
Brian says our Kansas USSR theme play.
Urinals? That's what I pee in. No,
great.
urinals.
That's great. I love that a
Oh,
lot.
Brian. Well, you got
But yeah, it's-
a uniform for me. That's all of our picks.
Oh, I haven't.
I feel like I saw who was it that had the NASA one? Somebody had a NASA uniform.
Oh, Rice.
Rice. Unless that was
That's
last
some
week.
space uniforms. I don't know. I actually have a couple that I liked that I saw.
Well, this one I thought was pretty cool. Here we go.
Yeah, Rice got some space themed uniforms. I think they look sleek.
They do look very nice. Let me go ahead and pull this bad boy
You know,
up
UCF
here.
does their space theme thing every year. But now,
Yeah, I always appreciate when I always appreciate whenever these programs take the time to sort of give a nod to, whether it be the military or any sort of, anything of that vein is really, really cool to me. But this looks awesome, man.
the Ducks are wearing some sleek uniforms this week too. I like the way that.
I'd be disappointed if they weren't.
But yeah, I like Rice and the Ducks, obviously. For whatever reason, I saw.
Yeah,
that,
I want to see what the Ducks are wearing this week.
Oh, it's clean. It looks really, really good.
That font, man. Yeah, that's nice. That's really, really nice. Anyways,
Yeah, Ducks uniforms look really good. They're wearing a lot of yellow, which is one of my favorite things that college football teams do. Any football team, really. If they wear a lot of yellow.
one day, here we go. Here's the uniform for. Here we go. Hello, can I get you to play? Here we go. Let me turn this down. Here's what the Ducks are wearing this week. Looking very fresh, looking very icy. Looking like if they were walking down the road at night, you could not hit them, you'd see them.
And for whatever reason, Texas State put up a thing on Instagram. Brian said it's weird having a blackout game this early. They're not wearing black. They're wearing yellow, my boy.
Yeah, but they might be doing it in the crowd or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. When is Penn State's whiteout game?
I don't know.
I want to see that. I just like watching that game because it's so fucking pretty.
Yeah. Texas State put up their uniforms, and that maroon and gold just look good to me. It's just their basic, like, home uniforms, but look pretty good to me.
Well, let's see.
Brian, are you talking about a crowd blackout, or are you talking about the uniforms there? I remember one time when I was in high school, they went to a game day, went to a Ducks game, and I was watching it. And
Here's Texas State, by the way. Go ahead.
their band had Nike, like, part of their uniform was like Nike, and I was like, that's cool.
Oh,
I wish
yeah.
I had Nike band uniforms.
Dude, no kidding, right?
So,
Just
but
put
yeah,
all Nike everywhere. Yeah, that does look
all
pretty damn
Nike
good.
They do. But yeah, that's all I got in the way of uniforms. You got a song you want them to listen to?
I'm gonna say I think that's all we got for a show. A song. I'm
You
gonna go
should
ahead
go
and.
stand in the shower and cry in Marvin's room because your team got their extra point blocked at
Hey man,
overtime.
I don't think it's over for you. Who's LSU play this weekend? They play somebody that's like
Couldn't tell you. Southern.
Southern, yeah, okay, so they'll win
Southern
that game.
University, which should be a blowout, but
Yeah, that'll be good for them. They
Southern-
can work on their.
Southern was on a 100-point watch the last time they played, so
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, that'll be good for them to sort of just have a game to sort of figure things out a little bit. They kind of need that. It's usually a night game when it gets cold. It's going to be like 101 at kickoff. The fans are black.
crowd blackout.
That is odd, especially because that, it's going to be hotter with black on. I don't know about that one.
Like Brian told me, they're all wearing black because they're mourning because they're at a funeral because they got buried by Georgia.
Yeah. I'm really sad about that. I wanted to be wrong. I wanted Oregon to come out and win that game in close fashion. I didn't want them to blow Georgia out. That would have been too confusing. I don't know where I would have gone with that information, but if it was close and they had pulled it out, that would have been a lot of fun, and I would have been excited.
Georgia did to Oregon what CM Punk did to a bunch of AEW wrestlers last week.
Please, I'm trying to escape from that right
Did
now.
the Bucks kick this door in?
That was the accusation. So if you guys don't know, basically CM Punk.
And this is all I know about it. Daryl's going to tell you the rest.
So CM Punk, who is a wrestler for All Elite Wrestling, this weekend won the championship at All Out. And funny enough, actually got injured in the match, and he's, regardless of this, is going to be out for 8 months because he like tore his tricep or whatever. But basically, he just like went off and like did a straight up like Eminem style hate track for everybody, just talking about, you know, the Young Bucks who were executive vice presidents, Kenny Omega, like all these different talent, and talking about how he works with children and they're fucking airheads. And I mean, he used all kinds of, F-bombs left and right. I mean, he was absolutely going off on them. And so apparently, as soon as that was over, like people went to his locker room and were like, hey, you want to talk to us? Let's talk. And then it was a giant, it basically turned to a big fight. And so that's a whole
Which proves what I've always said about CM Punk is that he's an asshole.
He's brilliant between the ropes. He's an incredible talent when it comes to like being on the mic. But like
he's a good talker too.
The guy is a bit of a toddler, if we're being honest. A sensitive ego, can't talk, you know. It is what it is, man. Triple H is right all along. So.
Anyway, there's your wrestling tidbits for this week.
There's your wrestling tidbit. As far as the song goes, I'm going to go ahead and put out there Ladies and Gentlemen by Saliva. That's an old song, but a good one.
That song is
oldie but
good.
goodie.
I'm going to go... You know, college football's back, so I'm going to go We Back by Jason Aldean. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, I can see
Also,
it.
you should go listen to the ESPN theme song. It's The Emperor by Youngblood.
Yeah,
that song's
yeah.
But blood is spelled B-L-U-D.
Hey, man, was it you that recommended a song to me called Ride the Lightning?
By Warren Ziders.
I think so.
Song's really good.
Was it
Warren
you?
Ziders.
Because it just appeared in my music one day, and I was like, why did I download this? And I listened to it, and I really
Country
liked
song?
it. Yeah, I listened to it, I really liked it, but I was like, I don't remember looking this up. Or
Warren
how.
Ziders.
It sounded like something you would
Yeah.
recommend. Yeah, that's him. Really good. I like that song. That's my
If you want a
recommendation.
good up-and-coming country artist to listen to, go listen to Warren. She's good.
I was fire. I listened to that when we were on the way back from Wyoming as the plane was taking off. I was listening to that song and I was like, yeah,
Go
hell
listen
yeah.
to, he's got a bunch, though. Go listen to, he's got a song called Dark Night. And then I think he's got another one called, like, Up to No Good or something like that. Just go, like, listen to all of his
Yeah,
stuff.
I just need to make that happen.
He's got a song with another singer named Craig Campbell called Outskirts of Heaven. I like that song.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not really like a listening to college football song. That's just a good song to listen to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
I
good
think
show,
that'll
man.
about do it, fam.
Yeah.
We're going to go an hour and a half like we did last week.
Yeah, hey, good show. Lots of stuff to watch this weekend. Lots to talk about next week. NFL starts this weekend as well. So.
Yeah, why watch the Bill? But you know, why watch the Bills and the Rams tonight when you could watch?
What you got?
When you could watch? When you could watch UT Martin and Missouri State?
Immediately goes and puts it on. Well, guys,
It's the only Division I college football game tonight. Why would you not watch that?
Of course.
You're watching us. You're obviously a fan of college football.
Absolutely.
So
At this point, you're missing out.
Yeah. So.
Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. 10-0 is the score of which game? Now I'm curious.
Please tell me you're watching UT Martin and Missouri State.
Oh my God! Please be watching them. Well, guys, thank you so very much for joining us. This has been a hell of a show. We're excited for week 3 coming around the corner. Tomorrow should be a lot of fun. We will be here next week. So at some point.
Tomorrow's Friday, bro. We stream on Thursdays now.
Well, but next week I'm traveling, so we may have to do it on Wednesday. I don't know. We're gonna see. I'll get with you about it. But we'll be back next week, nonetheless. Talk college football.
Same bad time, same bad place.
Take care of yourselves. Have a damn good one. And yeah, let the good times roll, man.